How's it going, guys? Welcome back to Destiny. This is going to be episode 5. We're just doing a little bit of the pre-missions leading up to Vault of Glass. And then Friday's episode will actually be Vault of Glass. If you didn't watch the last one, I don't know why you're watching this one, but I'm going to be talking with Brad and Tech. We talked a little bit last time about their first experiences with Destiny, so you should probably watch that because we're going to just be starting in the middle of a conversation almost. So, I guess we're going to go ahead and start.
Where it's like it makes a sound when you get that luck in the chamber bullet.
Yes, I remember they added like special sounds for different abilities proccing.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, see, I don't even have luck in the chamber unlocked.
How dare you.
Jeez, man.
I remember
Cash, get out of here.
like the hawk, basically the hand cannon.
$200.
PvP
Shut
meta.
up.
the year 1 hand cannon PvP meta with Last Word, Hawk Moon, and Thorn.
God, man, that was beautiful. That was one of my favorite metas in there. I think that was everybody's favorite metas at year 1 right there.
Yeah. Like you
could
said
use a shotgun,
before, like
sniper.
Taken King may have been like the golden age of Destiny, but it definitely wasn't as far as Crucible went.
Yeah.
Like House of Wolves meta was like the best time to play Crucible.
Yep.
Yeah,
Gosh.
I got an Imago loop with life support and an Imago loop with luck in the chamber. That's it.
So you're right. Your first exotic was Hawk Moon.
Yeah.
That's pretty good
That
first
was
exotic.
my baby. Oh, I know. I definitely did not know that at the time either, man. I was, like I said, I was a Destiny noob at that point, and
Right.
I think getting those Hawk Moons, getting all this like fun stuff right here, it was fueling that addiction. But they were just at that point in vanilla Destiny, exotics were exotics. Like,
Right.
They were, they weren't something where you would have them as a gag gift or something. They were useful. I mean, Hawk Moon you had as one of the original ones. Sure, maybe not too practical, but the perks on it were just, it was a general, overall, just a good weapon.
Right.
But then you had Icebreaker I talk about all the time, getting those free ammo. You had Patience and Time. You literally would go invis. You had Mida, which God knows Mida's still
Is
here today.
Mida, yep.
Haunting people's dreams.
God, there's Taken here. This isn't canon.
This isn't canon. Like, what are taken? But, Cyros Regime, you had that one. You had where they even had their first nerf.
Yep,
toward
I
auto
remember the
rifles in there.
Suros.
Gosh, it's one of those things where it's like, it's gaming history, which is a weird thing to say, where like, if you don't play a game within this time frame, you missed out on how the game used to play back then.
Right.
But not only that, you missed out on, certain events things are doing, like now you have other games in there like Overwatch who have seasonal events as well. And I think Destiny really brought gaming to that next level, where, and I think MMOs did that, but I think Destiny was like the main frame for the casuals in a sense
Right.
to try it out without, paying a $10 subscription each month. And when you had Bungie on there, the creators of Halo, you're like, oh, what could possibly go wrong? Well, it turns out you fire half your staff, some of it can go wrong. But at the same time, though, it tried to do something that no one has tried to accomplish before. And even though I will say, yeah, it definitely had flaws, this game was extremely well polished.
Yeah.
It was beautiful looking. The art on it was amazing. The storyline, yes, that was the one huge critique for everybody, was it didn't have a storyline. But I think because it didn't have one, it helped set up a vast world where they have a blank canvas and they can kind
Right.
of paint it however they want.
So Tech, at your time of playing, do you remember what your first exotic was, or did your first exotic mean nothing to you?
It meant nothing,
Yeah, I thought so.
unfortunately. Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
remember what it was?
Okay, the upper level's
It
open.
really meant that much to you, eh? Don't
Yeah, see,
value
no.
exotics.
No, no, it just, nope. I didn't know I didn't know. Now, what did I get? Well, okay, I can tell you the only one I remember
Yeah.
was the two that I remember getting early on was the Kostov and the Monte Carlo. But I
Okay.
don't know how I got them.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Well,
anything
the
about.
Kvostov you would have gone through a mission to get.
Yeah, see, so that's just, those are the ones that come to mind when you say exotics in Destiny.
Yeah.
At early, like those are the early memories of it. I didn't have the excitement of like you did. Well, not you, but Brad. You know,
I
getting
had
that
excitement.
Hawk Moon.
Except
Wow.
I didn't.
not.
I did.
You-
My first. I remember my first exotic.
Okay, go on. Tell me what your first exotic.
My first exotic was Patience in Time. I also got my first from a legendary engram. It dropped on Venus while I was doing a patrol.
Okay. Well, I take it back. I'm sorry.
It
I
was
just
Patience in
the only exotic story that I have ever heard from you is the one about the Galahorn, which,
Yeah.
admittedly, is very, 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 very low energy when you tell that story.
Well, to be fair, because I didn't. It wasn't my first exotic, so it didn't have that. Oh my God, what is this thing? But it was it. At the time, it was like the second or third week of Destiny. Like nobody knew what it was, so I didn't understand what it was like. A little kid just digs up a nuke. That's essentially
Cool.
what it
I don't know
was.
what
That's a
this
pretty big
is.
analogy right there.
I know. It's cool.
I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna blow up the whole goddamn world with this thing.
I remember, speaking of exotics and the Galahorn, I remember my brother explaining, that was a thing in LFG about, if you don't have this, you're not getting in
Yeah.
to the LFG. They wouldn't accept it. And then Brad reaffirmed that later on,
Yeah.
explaining that, that this was a thing that happened a lot in LFG, even though he stayed away from doing stuff
See,
like
it was
that,
mostly with Crota,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because you needed a Galahorn to get into a Crota group.
Or
Yeah.
or you could be very lucky and be like, I got a hunger of Crota. And,
Right? I got its legendary
sometimes they'll
knockoff
let you
version.
in. Exactly. So,
I forgot about the sprint cooldown.
I think everybody with Crota, it was always, looking for Sword Bearer. That was the
Yeah.
big one right there.
That's got to be the next.
Oh, this is another cheese spot. Did you ever just sit up here and snipe it?
Oh, I sat in the back of this pillar behind here.
Oh,
This is
see,
mine.
we would used to sit up here and snipe it from up here. And there's a Minotaur that spawn behind us like every 20 seconds or so. So we'd have like one or two, depending if it was 2 or 3 of us, we'd have 1 or 2 people shooting at the Nexus while the other person was on Minotaur duty.
Oh, man.
Yeah, the only way I ever played this was from up on this platform up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
This one used to be a pain if you didn't. If you were by yourself, it sucked.
Yeah. Especially when Void Burn was on.
Oh yeah,
I
these Minotaur
remember.
ads.
I remember doing this. I remember doing this and having blueberries, not know what to do.
See,
And
you're
get
talking
frustrated.
about a different version. This is the
Of
year
this,
1
yeah.
version where it has literally no abilities except shoot at you and a floating shield.
Exactly.
So
Okay.
there is no relic that spawns, or there's no like thing of light to stand in when you start getting dim. Like this is literally just a straight out battle against a giant
so
Hydra.
It's just, okay, cool. Then there you go. There goes prime example of how little I know about D1 because of my 200 hours.
Yeah. Well, this is the last strike that they actually brought forth with the Age of Triumph.
Yeah.
So you could mess around with it. All the other ones had like a revamp or kind of different versions you could do, and they finally brought this one in.
Rocket's McDickface didn't get a special version.
I remember. Yeah, it's true.
I remember Brad made a comment one time when I was
Oh yeah, you got the Taken one. Sorry.
playing. I was playing one of the raids with him early on, and he made a comment about Grimoire.
Yep.
My Grimoire score. Being relatively high for a person who didn't play the game
Yep.
as much. I remember thinking, I don't know what that means. That I'm only mentioning it now because it popped up on my screen again.
You just go. What did you get?
I don't know. I
Like
missed
Vex kills or something like that?
I guess I don't know what it said on there. I didn't. I just saw the thing pop up on the bottom of the screen. I recognized it, but I didn't read it.
Yep.
So yeah.
Well, Grimoire was a really good way to tell someone's skill. Like,
Right.
if someone's played a lot, they're going to try to do everything in the game, so they know a lot if they're having a higher one up there. That's even true for like people who just do PvP as well. Like, usually sometimes you'll see high skills just be at like 3,000 because they only care
Right.
about PvP.
Great work.
But you would know if they had a high Grimoire score, be like, they fucking knew what they were doing.
One tendril of the Vex.
See, my Grimoire score will never be higher than this because all that's left to do is PvP stuff, and I'm not doing that.
We must continue to understand.
You gotta get those 100 Rumble wins in, man.
Yeah. It's not even the Rumble wins, it's also like I need doubles wins and salvage
yeah.
wins. I'm not playing
I'll-
doubles
I-
or salvage.
To go back to the exotics for a moment.
Yeah?
I don't have any of the swords.
None of them?
Nope.
You don't. Wait, you have Young Wolf's Howl, right?
I do have that
Oh,
one, but
well,
I don't
that
have
doesn't
any of the
count.
other ones. Exactly. I didn't know that when I played the game. I was like, "Oh, cool, exotic sword," but no, this sword means nothing.
And Brad let you into a Wrath of the Machine run without a sword?
Yes, yes, he did.
Did you have a war
I
pass?
put him on the
Gallahorn.
left side. I
had
didn't
some-
put him on the right side.
I had other weapons though. I remember. Oh man, I remember like really, really wanting to get Outbreak Prime, and so I always tried to get in on the damn Wrath runs. But,
Yeah.
you know, not everybody wants to do those little monitors.
It's not even the monitors,
Break.
it's literally just the fourth monitor that nobody wanted to do.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't
Yeah,
read
so-
binary.
Yeah.
Gosh, man.
I thought that was cool though. That's one of the things that really,
We just got this.
makes you fall in love with a game. Is little
Right.
stuff like that. Like, where do you see that kind of level of detail in a game?
Their archive is
And I
the
mean,
treasure
Tech,
of
you
knowledge
missed out on
that
even more of it because when it
fallen.
was out, like
Secure the
when
archive.
Rise of Iron came out and the raid came out, anybody could actually trigger that to happen.
Yeah.
It was hidden in there the whole time. It was until Bungie released their little API site, and people were getting these codes, and then they finally put the puzzle pieces in there that they needed to step on certain platforms, and with the binary on there. And I remember the day that they figured that out, people were going crazy because it was Dado's group that figured it out, and I
Yep.
think because you had to put in we had over like 250 people. I even put in mine where you put in your code that you got so they could try and figure it out. And then from that, then when they finally did get it out there, they started showing it off, and I remember I stayed up that whole entire night, and I think it was like 9 hours worth, where not only did I do everything for that first raid, I ran a second raid, and I finally got it, and I remember getting messaged in the tower, be like, "Whoa, how'd you get that weapon?" I was just like, "A long
a lot of work.
quest."
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like that, it was that and Black Spindle.
Blacksmith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, my brother, again, he was really my lead on all of this initially. So it's like anything that he knew or discovered or read about or whatever, like that's the thing. We would go do things. We would two-man anything that he discovered. We would just go do two-man it. And at the time, I didn't understand really what that meant in the game to do that kind of stuff until I talked to other people and they go, "What? you guys did that by yourselves?" I mean, I can't think of something off the top of my head, but you know, that's how I experienced the game. Was like that. It was just everything was me and him going in. I didn't whether it required more people or not. That's how we did everything. Because that's just, you know, my brother. That's his level of humor. He's not going to share that information with me. To him, running the new Nightfall in Destiny 2 at the highest possible difficulty by creating, you know, what's the highest number you can put on that card, Brad?
For
74.
D2, a little.
For the Nightfall, it's what is it, 94? He puts
74.
He puts whatever he's 74. So he put it, the first day that was available, he put it on 74 and then asked me to go two-man the Nightfall with him.
Oh, I don't know
And
what's the
then-
highest it can go. I just know that's the highest you can put it and do damage still.
Yeah. Well, he put it at whatever the highest was, and we went in there two-manning and that the Nightfall. That's just to give you an example what level of crazy my brother is, and that's how we did D1. And of course, because I don't know anything, I'm oblivious to, you know, like if I knew. See, at least now in D2 I know, so I'll tell him, no, I'm not doing that. Stop it. Change it. Put it back. But in D1, he would not get a no from me because I had no idea.
I hear No Land. Brad, are you using No Land Beyond?
Yeah, gotta bring out my old baby here.
I'm trying to unlock the stuff here on my Hawk now.
That's it.
See, I was in a similar place with raids. I played with two other friends, so like our Crota completions were like 3-man all the time.
Oh,
Nice.
After you.
Before, like this, so did you do the cheese, you know, and all that stuff?
One time when I did, our very first Crota completion was unplugging the Ethernet cord.
That was the best. I remember, I think it happened maybe 1 or 2 times I did that, but it was just seeing that and then seeing it happen, and you're just like, no way.
Yeah.
No.
So our very first Crota completion was unplugging an Ethernet cable.
Yeah, I never got to experience that.
Let's hit that terminal.
But I, you know, again, I hear a lot. I play with a lot of experienced players, and I hear all these different stories.
Yeah. Just like our very first hard Atheon completion was me pushing him off the edge with solar grenades.
Nice. Gosh.
Yeah. It's good stuff. Again, what other game can you do stuff like that in?
But there really wasn't any like fun stuff to do like that in Wrath or in King's Fall.
No, I think they definitely made it where those beginning parts right there, you needed a full fire team.
Right.
Or at least a good chunk of people to get in there. And well, I think now people have shown that you can solo it, but it's super difficult.
Right.
It was part of the fun that you could go in there by yourself and face a true challenge on there.
Yeah.
I think it definitely did, like, by doing something like that, it limited the mechanics that they were able to do.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like that's how I got my Flawless Raider, was soloing Crota in there.
Yep,
It was
me
like,
too.
oh, it was epic.
It took me like 7 hours of just sitting there doing it over and over again, because I had never really even soloed it before. So I was just like, I'm gonna just learn to solo it, and I'm just gonna do it without dying.
Yeah, it was. The turning point for me that got it done was when I learned like Telesto is really good for that. I'm like, wait, what? And
I didn't
as soon
know
as I
that.
tried
I was
it
using
out,
Gallahorn.
You're using Galhorn.
See,
Cool.
nope. The reason Telesto wasn't good for it was because I did it during the Dark Below.
Yeah.
Or I either did it during Dark Below or House of Wolves, and I don't think Telesto was a gun then.
Nope. Nope. That was Taken King right there for that one.
Yeah. So I sat there. I had OG Black Hammer and Gallahorn.
Yeah. And I mean, that's part of the gaming history, talking about it, of just like, it's a different experience whatever time frame you come in on and do things. And I think even now that we're talking about it, we talk about Black Spindle, and technically it's in the database for D2, but who knows, by the time, just Forsaken or even a seasonal event come out, it could be a real thing.
Right.
Which is crazy to know about.
I want to say it was probably House of Wolves that I did it, because I feel like I had a bit of a big level difference. Well, not a big level difference, but a level difference.
Yeah.
If I did it during Dark Below, then Crota and I would have been at the same level.
I remember the big switch that they did was, instead of it being where the gear got you to that level, it was, you just level up to it, and then it would be a light level in there.
Right.
Let's get back to the
instead. But before, you had those memes of, Forever 29 and all that.
I remember that. I was a false 20. I was a false 30. I Iron Bannered my way
You were
into
the
30.
Iron Banner? Yep, I was too.
This archive is amazing.
I had
Pathways to other
Iron
galaxies,
Banner gloves and an
mappings of
exotic
complex
helmet
underworld,
to get me
a
to
place
30.
called The Vault of Glass.
Nice. I don't think it was helmet for me. I know that was for a lot of people.
Yeah, because the helmet only dropped from hard.
Yeah.
Fun times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looking
My
back,
first
fond
Vault of
memories.
Glass. Yeah, it was. Does anybody not know this encounter? And I basically didn't say anything, and I never did a raid before, and I basically went in at the boss at Atheon, and I kept quiet, because I was like, oh, if I say something, maybe I'll get kicked, and the person just sighed, because no one said anything. It's like, okay, fine, here's how you do the encounter.
He knew.
God, that sounds so familiar, doesn't it? Does anybody not know this encounter?
And silence.
Okay, all right. Well, we're doing it live.
It's like one of my favorite things is like 6 out of 6 Guardians swear that the Gorgon didn't see them.
My favorite thing that you guys used to do would be like, just force people to change up positions. Like, like what have you done before? And just kind of trap people into that. Just,
like
be
like,
very
hey,
innocent, like,
what have you done? We'll put you into that, and then they tell us, and it's like, you're not doing that.
Exactly. It's like, oh, good, you've done that. Great, you're on this side instead. It's like, what? Yeah, those were fun. Those were fun experiences.
Okay, and that's actually the end of this episode. I know it was actually very short. There was only one story mission and one strike, but next part is Vault of Glass, and I didn't really want to squeeze an episode of Raid in with story missions and strikes. So, thank you very much for watching. if you want to watch this live, ask us questions, stuff like that, you can check out the description down below, once you'll find my Twitch and my Twitter, and you can check my Twitter to see when I'm going to be going live. It's normally 3 p.m. most days, except for Wednesday and Saturday. Yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day.